You're gonna find out who plays where we get there. Alright. So, oh, okay, so the, Mr. Fengzi, the orange Zerg at the top right location is actually going to be Trutacz. And his opponent, as the blue Protoss, at the bottom left location is going to be Bonyth. Now, for those of you who don't know, Bonyth is kind of a PvZ specialist, maybe a little bit. I mean, he has really good moves. So definitely really interesting. Now, Trutacz. Well, what can we say about Trutacz? What can we not say about Trutacz? Really good player, and yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Now, they're cross positions, and Bonyth is actually going for main pylon. I gotta say, guys, when Bonyth is going for main pylon, you do expect something weird to happen. Alright, so we got one gateway. Is it going to be double gateways? It's a 10, so you can go for the gas, you can get for the second gateway. I just feel like on Fighting Spirit, going like in base gateway, that you have to really know what you can do. A River into Mass Goon doesn't really work too well, mostly because of the distance in Fighting Spirit. I mean, it can work, but it's still tricky to try to pull it off. There it is. So it's going to be double gateway. Now, guys, here's the first thing I gotta say. If Bonyth is gonna try to pull off... Wait, where's his second pylon? Ooh. He's not putting a second pylon yet. That's probably to cut probes. He's gonna be cutting probes if he wants to start his second zealot. Yeah, he's cutting probes. So this is pretty much kind of all-in-ish. No, he's actually producing probes. Is it gonna finish? I'll probably finish in time anyway. Now, we do see that Mr. Fengzi, or Trutacz, did go for overpull, and then he made 6 Zerglings. Now, this is usually you usually attack with this and you bring a few probes with it. If you don't bring any probes, this should never work. And especially against somebody like, I don't know, like Trutacz. It's just way too far. Okay, so another pylon. This is still going to be a 2 gateway pressure. More zealots coming up. Now, Trutacz still didn't scout this, so if you didn't scout this, you can still get surprised by it. I mean, we do see that most of the larvae are still going into drones. So by the time and a third another natural. Actually, this might work. I mean, you do get a little bit lucky because of the positioning and the fact that the Overlord didn't scout you, but okay, so the Overlord sees the 3 zealots, and Trutacz is going to be going back, producing more Zerglings, and you most likely need a Sunken for this. I don't think you can actually stop this without any Sunken. Okay, so the Sunken is actually going to be going at the main. He's just going to probably give up the natural, or at least try to fight it with the Zerglings, but if he doesn't get a really good engagement, he's still going to sack it. Okay, so now Trutacz does have actually, I think, enough lings to deal with at least these 3 early zealots, but Bonyth is microing really well, and these drones are not mining, which means Zergling count is not going to get up real constantly. Oof. I gotta say, this is close because both players, I mean, Bonyth is the one doing constant damage, so he can definitely do a little bit more with this, but if Trutacz manages to stop this, even more zealots coming up, and a Nexus is going to go to the natural, so even if this doesn't actually kill Trutacz, it's still going to do a lot of damage, both economical and at the same time in terms of his own mining. Trutacz just basically has no money. Now the Sunken is going to get targeted, and with some good micro, it seems like it might go down before too many zealots die. Is it going to go down? You really want to kill that Sunken, right? You really want to kill that Sunken. Oof. I mean, that was... He could have probably targeted the Sunken like twice and get it killed. Okay. So this is still going on. We don't know exactly who's going to come on top of this, because trutacz, although he is managing to stop this, his drone count is at 10 drones. So the initial attack is stopped, but the third is cancelled. At the same time, there is 10 drones, and Bonyth is at 21 probes, and he is securing his natural with a cannon. He does have his gas finished. Ooh. Oh, and that one Zealot actually is going to try to get something more done. I mean, even if it denies mining for a few seconds, that's even worse. And yeah, look at that. Wow. Bonyth really knew how to follow this up. The cannon is about to finish, so that forge should survive. So from this point on, it's a 2 base against 2 base, with the Protoss having a massive lead in economy. And at the same time, I would say that although the core is coming out like... I mean, it's late considering the time, but it's really not late considering what trutacz might try to do. He's going for a Zergling all-in, and while this is probably like the only chance that he can have at this moment... I mean, it might work? It's possible, definitely. Oh, a probe is actually going to try to block this. If he sees all the Zerglings and puts something in here... no! Okay, so this is broken. These Zerglings are probably going to target the pylon next. Yeah, so that's no more protection for Zealots, although this one will get out. And at the same time, trutacz is going to be putting some Sunkens in his base to defend from this attack from the Zealots. So... Whoa! Nice probe, actually. Nice micro so far from Bonyth. Although he is going to lose some economy in this, he should be able to actually live through it. And at the same time, he's not able to break through trutacz's base. But it's still 14 to 21. So the economy wars so far is still going for Bonyth. Now, he has to still rebuild the cannon here because he doesn't have any pylon. So until that, these Zerglings might try to take down the forge. Will they? I think they might. Yeah, they will definitely get the forge. So once the forge is dead, they can definitely try to break through and go to the main and do some more damage. Wow, I gotta say, if trutacz wins this with just speedlings, that's going to be really painful for Bonyth, because he had a massive lead in the start of this game with how actually he got a little bit maybe lucky because he didn't get scouted, he got those early Zealots out, but still. So there's still a lot of Zealots coming out, but trutacz is microing his units very well to keep getting free shots everywhere he can. And while all of this is going on, trutacz can try to change his approach to this game. He might try to go for something else. So far he's not. He's still just basically making pure Zerglings. Now, as long as Bonyth realizes that this is continuous all-in, he should still be relatively fine, because once the cannon is finished and this is still protected, he can still transition to something else. And he's going for the speed for the Zealots, not going for Corsairs early on to try to put any more pressure. And it seems like trutacz is going to try to make some Hydras, but is he going to get the time for that? I don't think he's going to get the time for that. I mean, there is way too little economy for trutacz to really be able to produce Hydras fast enough to stop the next attack. He cannot produce really... Here's the thing, he cannot really produce drones, because if he does, he's gonna die to the first movement of this Zealot force. And if he doesn't... And even if he does go just full units, then the economy of Bonyth is still better, and he is able to actually increase his economy. So, yeah, the chat seems to think that this is probably going to be GG. Now, I gotta say, I really think that trutacz got a little bit of a bad end to this, because he got 2 gatewayed going for a kind of a standard anti-expo build with the 3rd here, and he saw it so late that he still did a pretty good job from it. I just don't know what he can get from it at this point. Now, speed is not yet finished, but it will be relatively soon. +1 is still a way to go, but eventually it will get there, and that's still something pretty good. So, alright, there's the speed zealots coming out. Dragoons can't get out. Well, yeah, happens. And some counter Hydras are going to try. I mean, I gotta say, trutacz is still smart enough to say, okay, I'll probably not be able to win normally, so I'm gonna leave some Hydras behind, and I'm gonna counter it. Oh, and there's the DT. And, well, with the DT there, and actually 2 of them, that's not gonna work. And these zealots, they still don't have the +1, so, oh, let's go to the main. Why the hell not? Yeah, where there's no sunken. Well, actually, there is a sunken, but there is no SimCity, so I can fight a little bit better. Now, trutacz is coming up with his force, with the drones, losing a 1 drone extra there, on 12 drones now, on 11 drones. And yeah, I mean, snipe the Hydra then, try to kill some units. At this point, it really, like, Bonyth still really probably can, I mean, he doesn't go AFK, but there is literally no way that you can lose this unless you, I don't know, go to sleep or something. Okay, so with this we got 9 drones, and trutacz will GG. Now, I gotta say, although Bonyth won that game like relatively easily, trutacz did hold on for a very long time, considering how poorly his opening went against the double gate. So, I mean, it still was, I don't know how to say this, because Bonyth had the perfect opening, and it took him a very long time to try to break trutacz. So, if this goes to a more standard game, I'm actually a little bit afraid for Bonyth. He's a really good player, but I don't know. Okay, let's see anyway. Let's get to the next game, and we will see what goes there. We will, guys, go to game number 2 of this series, so we will continue to see how it goes between these 2 guys.